Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press Evening Podcast for May 20th, 2025. Firstly, in our special report, we looked at developments in Washington, where the approach of the U.S. government to Middle East chip deals is raising concerns about potential security risks due to the transfer of sensitive technology. Secondly, on the global stage, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán is tightening his grip on freedoms ahead of next year's election, with legislation aimed at cutting off funding to civil society and media, deemed a threat by his government. We also touched on extreme weather events in China and considerations for taxing small parcels in Japan as online shopping expands. Lastly, we focused on the significant development in European politics, where Portugal's third general election in 3 years has resulted in another minority government, with the center-right Democratic Alliance needing opposition support to pass legislation. The surprise rise of the hard-right populist party, Chega, adds uncertainty to Portugal's fragile political landscape, driven by concerns over corruption scandals, immigration, and a housing crisis. These stories highlight the complexities and uncertainties of global politics and economies today. We'll continue to monitor these developments and provide you with in-depth analysis and updates. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here's Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, the European Union has announced plans to impose further sanctions on Russia, while the Trump administration has agreed to pay $5 million to the family of a woman shot at the U.S. Capitol riot. Secondly, a healthcare crisis is unfolding in Africa, where many are struggling to access basic services. The international community must come together to address this humanitarian issue, which also has significant implications for global stability and security. Lastly, in Washington, House Republicans are counting on President Trump to help quell a rebellion within their own party over their signature legislative bill. The president's ability to influence his party members will be put to the test as he seeks to persuade them to back a legislative package that embodies much of his domestic agenda. These stories and more are being closely watched, and will continue to bring you updates as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us tonight on the AI Daily Press podcast. Until next time, good evening. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. We're bringing you a quick recap of the top stories from our recent coverage. Firstly, we looked at United Health Group Incorporated, which has been facing chaos. But as we always say, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Fundamental principles remain unchanged, and we'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it unfolds. We also dove into the world of dividend investing, focusing on business development companies like Blue Owl Capital Corporation and Gladstone Investment Corporation. These companies offer attractive high-yield investments, but it's essential to do your due diligence and diversify your portfolio to minimize risk. Lastly, our market experts shared their insights on the current state of the market, which is experiencing a phase of consolidation after a strong run earlier in the week. They remain optimistic about the overall outlook, with financials, cement, chemicals, defense, and capital goods emerging as potential sector leaders. So, where do you stay your money Monday? That's a question for you to answer, but one thing is certain. We'll be keeping a close eye on these developments and bringing you more insightful analysis and expert opinions in the world of finance. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and remember, a correction is when you lose money, a bear market is when I lose money. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we explored the mystery of the Martian streaks, which were initially thought to be signs of water on the red planet. However, thanks to rigorous research and analysis, scientists discovered that these streaks are actually caused by layers of fine dust sliding off steep terrain. Next, we delved into the groundbreaking research being conducted on the International Space Station. This extraordinary facility has been continuously occupied since 2020, has facilitated innovative studies in plant growth, material science, and astrophysics. The ISS is a shining example of international cooperation and collaboration, bringing nations together in the pursuit of scientific progress. Lastly, we touched on the enigmatic phenomenon of the universe's vast expanse, as we explored the story of the starry night sky and the ongoing quest for answers about our place within it. From the search for life beyond Earth to the importance of responsible stewardship of our planet, these stories remind us of the infinite wonders that await us and the boundless potential for discovery that lies within our reach. That's all for tonight's summary. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the cosmos. Until next time, good night, and keep looking up. Now, for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. First, we looked at the University of Alabama's football team, where the Crimson Tide might just have the grit and determination to make a deep run in the upcoming season, despite being underestimated by many. Their underdog status could work in their favor as they face off against tougher opponents. Next, we broke down the NFL's potential decision to allow its players to participate in the Olympic Games, specifically in flag football. This move could pave the way for greater collaboration between the NFL and the Olympic movement, with provisions for injury protection and salary cap credits for participating players. Lastly, we explored the University of Notre Dame's innovative hiring of Pat Garrity as the general manager for both its men's and women's basketball teams. This groundbreaking role is believed to be the first of its kind in college athletics, and Garrity will oversee both programs, working closely with the university's name, image, and likeness office to navigate the changing NCAA landscape. That's a quick summary of tonight's top stories. We'll continue to provide updates and analysis on these developments as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press podcast. Until next time, good night. Now, for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curel.
Thank you, Howard. In our recent stories, we've been exploring a range of thought-provoking topics. Firstly, we delved into the critical issue of sustainability and accountability in the context of environmental concerns. We examined how actions that promote sustainability can have a profound impact on our planet. Next, we turned our attention to travel, focusing on expert advice for packing light for long trips. Our guest, Matthew Kepnes from Nomadic Matt, shared his insights on minimizing baggage, emphasizing versatility and practicality over fashion. Lastly, we discussed the concept of feminine energy in relationships, sparked by comments from Australian podcaster Chris Griffin. The conversation highlighted the importance of emotional care and support in partnerships, challenging outdated gender stereotypes, and encouraging mutual respect and understanding. These stories remind us that our actions, choices, and perspectives have significant implications for ourselves and those around us. As we continue to explore these topics and more on the AI Daily Press, we invite you to join us in fostering a community of empathy, knowledge, and growth. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to sharing more stories with you in the future. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First, Jennifer isn't on the docket tonight. Instead, we're looking at a lawsuit involving Jennifer's fellow celebrity. Jennifer is not involved in this story, but rather it involves none other than the one and only. Actually, no one like her. I'm talking about Jennifer. Nope, just kidding. Seriously, though, we have a story about a lawsuit that doesn't involve any of the Jennifers I was just mentioning. The real story is about a celebrity who's being sued, and that celebrity is none other than... Actually, it's not about any celebrity named Jennifer at all, but rather someone else entirely different. We're talking about a lawsuit involving a well-known figure in the entertainment industry. Our first story tonight revolves around a lawsuit involving a very famous person, who we will call the plaintiff, and that person is being sued by another party. But let's move on from that topic to our next one, which I think you'll find far more interesting. Tonight's second story shines the spotlight on none other than Jessel Tank, an up-and-coming star in the entertainment industry, who has just partnered with WME to expand her influence across various spaces. We can't wait to see what she does next. And finally, we're talking about Los Angeles' latest move to make the city a more attractive destination for film and TV productions. Mayor Karen Bass has issued an executive order streamlining the permitting process for film shoots, which is expected to reduce production costs and keep good-paying jobs in the city. That's all for tonight, folks. Tune in tomorrow for more updates on these stories and other exciting developments in entertainment and lifestyle. Until next time, stay fabulous. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Atenacha.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we explored the remarkable discovery of a thriving population of the endangered species, the Ganges River dolphin, in India. Conservation efforts have paid off, with numbers increasing due to protected areas and community-led initiatives. Secondly, we delved into the rapidly evolving field of artificial intelligence in conservation biology. AI is being used to analyze vast amounts of data, track individual animals, and simulate ecosystem responses to climate change. While AI holds tremendous promise, experts caution that it should complement traditional research methods, not replace them. Lastly, we examined the unprecedented bloom of sargassum seaweed in the Caribbean and Florida, which is posing significant challenges for coastal communities and marine life. Scientists attribute the bloom to increasing ocean temperatures and excess nitrogen in the water, highlighting the need to address climate change and pollution. These stories remind us of the intricate relationships within our planet's ecosystems and the importance of balancing human activities with conservation efforts. As we continue to explore and protect our incredible planet, let's not forget the beauty and wonder that still exists beneath the surface. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and until next time, good night. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Atenacha for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.